Hey everyone, so you're looking to convert your foreign driver's license here in Japan. The process is called外免切替, and yeah, it can feel like you're trying to solve a giant puzzle. But don't worry, we're going to break it all down for you, step by step, so you know exactly what's coming.
But let's be real for a second. For most people, the biggest headache isn't the paperwork or even the driving test. It's just trying to book the appointment. You know the feeling? You're refreshing the page over and over, you check every single day, and the slots are just poof, gone. It's so frustrating.
And it's not just a feeling, the data really shows it. If you try to book it yourself, you could be waiting on average a month and a half just checking and rechecking. But folks using an alert system, they usually snag their spot in just a couple of days to maybe a week. That is a huge difference.
And you know, here at MenkyoHub, we went through that exact same frustration. That whole booking bottleneck, well, that's literally why we built our platform in the first place. We just wanted to help people get past all that waiting and on with the actual process.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We've talked about the booking nightmare, so now let's get to the good stuff. We're going to walk you through the whole journey, from getting your documents ready to acing the tests and finally getting that Japanese license right in your hand.
All right, let's dive right in. Step 1 is all about getting prepared. That means gathering all your documents and, of course, locking in that appointment.
First up, let's run through the documents. You're going to need your original license from back home, an official translation from the Japan Automobile Federation, that's JAF, your passport, your residence card or Zairyu card, a recent photo, and the application form, which you can usually get right at the center. Oh, and you'll almost definitely need a certificate of residence, which is called the Juminyo. We really recommend you check the official website for your specific test center, because the requirements for that Juminyo can sometimes change.
Okay, and here is a super important update. As of 2025, the rules have changed. You absolutely must book your appointment online. You can't call anymore, and you can't just walk in. This is a pretty recent change, so knowing this will save you a whole lot of time and a potentially wasted trip.
So, with everyone online, how do you beat that crazy rush? Well, this is where an alert service is a game changer. The second a cancellation or a new slot opens up at the center you've chosen, boom, you get an instant email. It means you can finally stop hitting that refresh button all day long and just act the moment an opportunity pops up.
So when you get that alert, speed is everything. The process itself is simple. Just click the link in the email, log into the official site, hopefully you've pre-registered an account, and grab that spot. It's really all about being the first one there.
Now, we've just covered the basics here, but for a really complete document checklist and a super detailed breakdown of this whole booking process, you can find our full written guide over at MenkyoHub.jp.
So once you've got your date booked and your documents all lined up, it's time to get ready for step 2, the written test.
And you really do want to prepare for this one because the test format also changed in 2025. And believe me, it is a lot tougher now. It went from a pretty simple 10-question true or false quiz to a full-on 50-question exam, and you need to get 45 of them right to pass. So yeah, the bar is much higher.
So how do you get ready for it? Well, there are a bunch of great resources out there. You can find online practice tests that are great for getting used to the question style. YouTube has tons of videos that can explain some of the trickier rules. And of course, you can always buy the official question books. To help out, we've also put together a collection of study materials and mock tests on MenkyoHub to help you pass on your first go. All right, let's talk about step 3, the practical driving test. This is probably the most famous, or maybe infamous, part of the whole process. It has a serious reputation for being incredibly strict.
You know, the key here is to pretty much forget how you normally drive back home. You have to drive like you were taking a test in Japan. This means you've got to study the rules here, you're constantly checking your mirrors, signaling way earlier than you think you need to, and just focusing on slow, deliberate, precise movements. Honestly, even if you've been driving for years, taking a practice lesson or two can make all the difference. So let's talk about the things that cause people to fail. Stuff like not checking your mirrors enough, rolling through a stop sign instead of coming to a full, complete stop for 3 seconds, or even just forgetting to signal. Those can be an instant fail. These are the tiny details the examiners are watching like a hawk.
So after you've navigated all the paperwork, the booking, the written test, and the driving test, you've finally made it to the last stage. Your new Japanese driver's license is right there, waiting for you. You know, we get a lot of amazing feedback, and stories like this one are why we do what we do. One user, Sarah, told us she got her appointment in just 2 days, after struggling for ages trying to find one on her own. Getting past that first big hurdle so quickly just makes the whole thing feel so much less stressful.
So to kind of wrap it all up, here's how a service like MenkyoHub can really help you get through this. You get those instant alerts, so you can book your test date fast. You've got access to study resources to help you nail the written exam. We can even help connect you with awesome instructors for that practical test. Plus, our service supports license conversions from every country, and it's just a one-time payment. We keep sending you alerts until you've successfully booked your spot.
So the big takeaway here is that while the外免切替process has its tricky spots, it is totally doable when you break it down and have the right tools. Head on over to MenkyoHub.jp for the full guide, the required documents list, and a bunch of tips to help you pass the exam, plus all the alerts and study tools to get you moving faster. Thanks so much for watching, good luck, and we hope to see you out on the road.